Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. This is How to Train a Speedrunner, a show dedicated to giving you beginner-friendly tutorials for speed games, so you can see how easy it is to get into speedrunning. Before we get into today's game, just a quick few reminders. Prize submissions have actually been extended for GDQ 2024, so that now closes on January 8th. You can go to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. So if you have anything you'd like to submit for a prize, you've got another week. And also, just as a reminder, Awesome Games Done Quick is coming up. It is in like a week and a half, the 14th through the 21st. So be sure to take a look at the schedule. You can go to gamesdonequick.com/schedule to find out more about that. With all of that said, today we are going to be learning how to speedrun Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I will hand it over to the runner commentary. Let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Storied. I am the current world record holder for this game for any percent. I'm also going to be running this game at GDQ, so check that out. And I am also going to be joined by Bites, who's going to help me commentate today. Bites was the first person to break the sub-hour mark, as well as the 50-minute mark and the 49-minute mark. And he did those last two in the same run. So something of a legend in the scene.
It was just small things.
So yeah, I think we could just hop straight into it. So we start with a new game here.
Time starts now. You do a countdown. Did you?
Oh, are we supposed to do a countdown? Did I already mess up?
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, well, the time's not important. So the first thing we're gonna do is in that jail cell, we're gonna do some tricks there just to build up some boost. The way boost works in this game is every like consecutive trick after 5 in a combo will give you a little bit of boost. So we're just gonna kind of like time some kicks to give us boost. We're gonna do it again right here. We kind of shoot for 9. You can do 10 if you do like really tight timing, but normally you'll get 9. So we're gonna do that twice. Come over here, talk to him. And then here we're gonna do a save and quit to kind of speed him up so we don't have to wait for him to walk the whole way. If we save and quit and reload the file, he will kind of just be teleported to his next spot. Just gonna be up here. And we'll talk to him and then we'll do our first graffiti of the game. Graffitis, if you do a new one, it will also give you some boost. So this will give us some boost for the rest of the prologue. Then we're gonna come up here and just grab our skates. We're gonna need these before we're gonna leave the level, because that's what we're gonna do now. We're just gonna say goodbye, prologue. We are going to clip out of bounds here through a skip called Pretty Boy Skip. If you wanna kind of explain that more, Bites, while I'm doing it.
And so with Pretty Boy Skip, we're gonna switch our FPS to 30. That allows us to clip through the geometry here from the ceiling and this wall. Using a slide and jump. Sliding kind of just fuses both animations together, and because it's on 30 FPS, the collision kind of just has to catch up with each other pretty much, and just allows you to clip through the wall.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to perform. You just go up against the wall, press slide, and press jump. And if you're on 30 frames, you'll pretty much just glide straight through it. This next trick we're gonna do is called Pretty Boy Revival. And what this does is we're gonna basically pause on the same frame we hit the loading trigger. And this is gonna kind of like confuse the game, like how the menus work. And basically it's gonna skip a long cutscene that's normally unskippable, as well as like some tutorial levels in the hideout. So to do this, I line up right on the edge of the trigger. I use this kind of like gray line at my feet as like the visual cue. And then the way I set it up is I like to double jump into it because that gives you like a nice burst of speed to make sure you hit the trigger like pretty quickly after you hit jump. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump and then I'm gonna hit double jump and pause on the same exact frame. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna perform the trick. So I'm gonna do that right now.
Because what happens is the game is trying to create a loading screen within the pause menu, and because they're kind of like happening at the same time, the game doesn't know how to react to that. And so that allows us to skip an entire unskippable cutscene, as well as letting us be in the hideout immediately, still as foe as well.
Yeah, normally you're not supposed to be playing as this guy past the prologue, but we get to play through him all through chapter 1, which is pretty neat. Right here, I'm doing another one of these slide clips to get out of bounds. We're going to do this because we actually have to leave this area before force quitting our game. Because right now, as a side effect of the last skip we just did, Pretty Boy Revival, our game's in a glitch state. So we can't do like graffiti, story triggers I think won't work how they're supposed to. Basically, we need to reset the whole game for it to work. If we do that inside hideout, when we reset our game, it'll actually start playing all those cutscenes we skipped, and basically we won't skip anything. So we have to actually leave this area. And the only loading trigger that will let us leave this area is only accessible through this out of bounds route, because it is normally blocked off by a shortcut that we're supposed to unlock later in the game. So we just hit the trigger and then we force quit our game before restarting. And
you might also be wondering why we didn't just skip the prologue like immediately when we got to the locker as well. And that's only because we wouldn't be able to graffiti or change our styles to like walk around freely.
Okay, I just realized I have the save remover mod on, and that actually makes PVR not work. So we're gonna be doing that again. Actually, I could load a save.
You can do a backup save.
Yeah, we're gonna just do that.
This is the practice tools going against our favor right now.
Yeah, I have a practice mod that what it does is it lets you like kind of do quick resets of a save, and I have that on because it's going to be useful for showing some stuff on later. I forgot it makes this part of the game break, so let me just go ahead and here. Actually, I'll do it from the third file. So normally you Alt F4 the game, and when you restart, it puts you in Matan, which is supposed to be the last level of the game. And from Matan, we're going to go to Square, which is also normally supposed to be an area you're supposed to not reach until Chapter 2. But since we're kind of already breaking things and doing things out of order, we're going to be in here in Matan, and then from here, we're going to go into Square. Just like a short walk over.
Make sure to fix your game.
Oh yeah, good point. Let me do that real quick. Let me just hit the loading trigger. So here we are in Square. We're just going to be walking through Square to get to Versum, which is where the first level is. But while we're here, we're going to go ahead and just grab some sprays for later on. What sprays do is sprays give you rep, which is you need like a certain amount of rep to meet certain like story trigger thresholds. And we need 60 for Chapter 2. So since we are walking through it now in Chapter 1, we might as well grab them now. So that is what we're going to be doing. If you want to explain like rep and different spray values and whatnot, Bites, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so there are 4 different spray values. There's small, medium, large, and extra large, each being an increment of 2. So small being a 2 and an extra large being an 8, and medium and large 64. And each unique medium to extra large spray that we spray will give us a different quantity of boost. So if you do the same spray over and over, you won't be getting boost for each one, only the first one that you sprayed. And the rep we get, as you mentioned, gets us to certain challenges or met requirements to get to the next area. Getting them here now just is easier for the next chapter, because once we get to the next chapter, there would be op scenes playing each spray, and we don't want that. This is just an easy way to prevent that, and also it's in the way.
Yeah, we're traveling through there. We might as well. Just the way the like routing works, just less travel time. Okay, so this is called train route. What we have to do is we have to make a cycle here with the train. We have to get on it like this before it leaves the station, because you cannot catch up with it. First, we have to talk to Rave because she spawns these sprays on the train. We won't be able to do them until we talk to her. So we have to get up to her, talk to her. We hit an 8 behind her before getting on the train. After that, we're going to be jumping through this wall because I'm actually going to save here. So this wall actually just straight up doesn't have collision. So you can just jump through it. And then through some out of bounds movement, we could reach this spray, which will trigger the next like story cutscene and will let us progress as normal. We can't get here unless we clip through out of bounds because this wall is impassable and there's no way to get over there because we're not supposed to enter this level from this entrance. This is another like side effect of the Pretty Boy revival, that skip we did back then. So if you don't make the train cycle, what you could do is after talking to her, you can save and quit. So let me make sure I save so we don't have a repeat what happened before. And this way, if you miss the jump to get up here, you can not just have to reset. You could just save and quit, and this will reset the train cycle. You do have to wait for it a bit, but it's better than a reset. So while I already got the train sprays, so while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna just talk a little bit more about this jump because this is the kind of like the tricky jump we have to do to get up there. To make this jump work, what you want to do is you want to be on the top part of this billboard, tap jump before like jumping off the billboard. This gives you, or sorry, not tap jump, tap boost, and this gives you a little bit more momentum to kind of carry you over there, and then you could just make it there on the double jump. So that's the jump most people have trouble with because you have to do all this on a timer in order to make the train. Then once you're there again, this wall is just completely there's just no collision on it for some reason. And then from there, we do this out of bounds movement to get it back to this spray. So that is the backup. And then I have a mod that actually I've accidentally removed the cutscene skip.
You don't have it.
Everything's going wrong. All right, that's fine. We'll just watch
the cutscene.
We'll watch the cutscene.
The reason why I get these sprays again is for a rep count. The amount of rep we get right now is I think it's the minimum or a little bit over.
It's I think it's 46 out of the 45, so barely over.
Yeah, we're over the threshold to unlock all the challenges in this area, so we're just able to get through each of them, as well as getting the rest of the rep to unlock the end of the chapter. Because we have to do all the challenges first, we get sprays along the way.
So here, now that I'm entering the main area, because we've already gotten 46 rep, all these challenges will now be unlocked. So we could start the first one right away, right in front of us. This is normally the last one to unlock, so it's nice that it is already available for us right when we enter the main area.
And this one is just a challenge to get an 8 times multiplier. Just holding the direction of the corner gives you the multiplier, and he just wants 8. And we drop down there to get a 4 spray or a medium spray.
Yeah, you have a little bit of time after you end your combo, because that's the challenge will end once you end your combo, and there's a little bit of time there, like where it just is fading to black, or it like takes a second before it fades to black, and we could grab a spray during that time. So we end our combo down on the ground, like down there, and then we grab that 4 spray while we can.
This challenge, there are 3 triggers to hit. Each of them are on these billboards that we're passing. They're very small, but just writing the billboards is the easy enough part of it.
Yeah,
there's some optimizations we've had, but
there's
I'm not gonna show that.
It's worth mentioning that the route we're showing off today is kind of like a very beginner-friendly route that still does not lose a lot of time on like the current like world record route. It's like there's a lot of small optimizations in this game that makes the route a lot harder for saving like relatively a little amount of time. So we're gonna be like kind of cutting out all those like super hard small optimizations for what we're gonna be showing you, just to make it more approachable and more fun for beginners. But
that last challenge, just riding down the hill, you don't really do much. It's just telling us how to manual.
Yeah, you just have to hold a combo to a trigger there at the end of the hill. Very straightforward. So and
Because we got all the rep.
yeah, we already got all the reps, so we're good to go. So right here, we're going to be doing our first boss battle. This boss battle has a skip called Stonewall, which will let us skip the second phase. This is the first phase. We have to beat up this heli. For the second phase, we just have to hit her once, and if we actually jam ourselves into a corner, we trick her navigation, like how it locks onto the player, and she will actually just despawn herself because she like can't track the player's location. That works with any corner in that whole like arena. If you like jam yourself into any of them after hitting her, she will just despawn herself.
With all that done, we are in the crew battle versus the Franks. All we need to do is get a higher score than them. We've beaten this section.
Yeah, it is an auto scroller, so even if you outscore them, you still like pretty quickly. You still have to wait the 2 minutes. So we're gonna be doing a few things during that 2 minutes to kind of like what we might as well. The first thing we're gonna be doing is grabbing the space, but the most important thing we're gonna be doing is this zip storage. So this is gonna be the first zip we're showing off. Do you kind of want to explain what zips are? They're kind of technical a little bit.
Yeah, so zips only happen on the topmost corner of most billboards. I say most because there's billboards like where they're like double-sided. Those are like the most hard ones to kind of do.
Yeah.
So what's really happening is the game tries to set you on the billboard path. There's only 3 paths. There's the top, the middle, and the bottom path. But because we're landing on a billboard on the very edge of it, as well as the very top, it doesn't know where to put you. So all it does is put you on the billboard and spit you out. And that value is changed depending on when you hit it, or depends on where you hit it most of the time.
Yeah.
Right now, we set that on a billboard that we can stand on because we can kind of manipulate the amount that it sets us on.
Yeah, some billboards will let you stand on them, and those are the easiest ones to get a zip off of because you just press jump like while you're standing on the right spot. Most of them you have to like either jump on them or land on them in a like from above or something. Here, this is a cutscene skip. If we hit that, like there's a trigger there that normally plays a cutscene that kind of like introduces us to Versum, which we dodged that cutscene because we came in through the other entrance that we're not supposed to come in through. If we hit that trigger for that cutscene as the crew battle ends, as we're skipping that cutscene, it will also skip a cutscene that normally plays at the end of the crew battle. So that saves a few seconds by kind of like double dipping on the cutscene skips.
Yeah, that also bugs at the cutscene with a second red model.
Yeah, that's kind of a funny side effect.
He's just kind of sitting there.
He's just hanging out. Let's see if we can get a good view of him. There he is. He's just hanging out. So coming up is Dream 1. This is going to be the first major skip of the game. We're going to be skipping the whole Dream level. This is called Nightmare 1. So this is why we did that zip earlier, just off the billboard that seemingly kind of went nowhere. When you do a zip, the game kind of records the speed you last left the billboard at. So whether or not you just jump off it normally, that would give you a speed of 13. It kind of like stores that. If you do a zip, it will store that zip speed because that's the speed you last left the billboard at. And you could reactivate that speed by touching the edge of a billboard. So we're going to do that at the very first billboard in this dream to bounce off a ramp, and then hopefully we'll get a second bounce off of some stairs. These stairs could be really finicky to get the bounce off of. So if that's the case, it's not a big deal. You can still skip most of the level. I'll kind of show an easier alternative. I'll make sure to save here so I can do it a few times. So here's the dream. So I do this on mouse and keyboard just because I find it a bit easier to like travel in a straight line. So we're gonna get a zip storage right here. That'll give us the speed. We're gonna get a first bounce and then a second bounce. Hopefully it's not gonna, yep. So in existence.
That's something that is bound to happen at least once.
Yeah, it's we don't fully understand what causes these stairs to not give you the bounce. Normally it should look like that, and then from here you can spray to the end of the level. If you're a beginner and you're just starting off, this part is relatively simple. You just jump into it. I pull out my skateboard and double jump to get that first bounce. You don't even have to do that. You could just jump into the billboard, get the zip storage, and just hold manual to get this first bounce. And then from here, you could boost to kill your momentum. Or you could just land without holding manual, and you'll just stop in your tracks. And you can still do that to skip like about 75-80% of the level without needing to go for kind of the scary second bounce here. So that's a nice alternative if you're kind of starting off. You still skip like the vast majority of the level at pretty much zero risk. So it's pretty nice. But ideally, again, you'd get that bounce off those second stairs. Very finicky, but hopefully you get it. And then that's the first chapter. A couple long cutscenes skip here, or play here. I'm tempted to quit the game and reinstall the cutscene skip mod. Do you think I should do it, Bites?
I think it's fine.
Think it's fine? Okay. They're pretty long. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
True experience.
Yeah, this is the true speedrunning experience. This is actually a good time to mention the speedrun utils mod that we actually allow in runs. We allow a quality of life mod called Speedrun Utils, and it does two things for us, really. One is it mashes through the text and unskippable cutscenes for us. Normally, this text that plays, you would have to sit here and mash through it. And there's about 5 minutes of that total in the run. What this mod does is it does it for us and saves our wrists and fingers from hurting during every single speedrun. So that is very nice. And then the other thing this mod does is it lets us bind an FPS toggle to a key on our keyboard, and then I use Steam input to then bind that onto my controller. That is very useful for those slide clips we did. For example, Pretty Boy Skip to skip the prologue, the early Matan clip to exit the hideout. Again, we did those a while ago, but that's how we do them. We use a hotkey to toggle our FPS. So yeah, very long cutscenes.
The other tool that we're using are also the ninja utils. They're really helpful for practice.
Yeah, here I'll toggle on the UI for ninja utils. It basically gives you a ton of like info on like your game state. Like it tells you what storage speed you have saved, if you have one saved. Your position, you could save your position, you could refill your boost. It's I would really recommend it if you're just practicing.
We won't go into the details on how to install it here because it's a pretty process. But
yeah, it's not
available to use.
Yeah, it's not super complicated, but it's not worth going over right here. So here the cutscenes are finally over. Except for one more. Okay, now they're over. And then now we're going to go back to square. This is normally where you go to square for the first time, but since we've already gone there and done the sprays, we'll be able to skip that part. But first, I'm going to try and do a trick. This is called the Milky Way. This could be kind of tricky. So basically, this is a zip that kind of lets you go down. I actually forgot to save my position, so let me fly back up there. That kind of just makes getting down this hill really fast. It could be a little tricky to hit. So another thing you could do is, let me just touch it to make sure I lose storage. You could kind of get a baby zip off the bottom here. If you hold manual and jump like that, you could kind of get a mini version of it. Which also will help you just kind of get down this hill faster. And then also you'll notice I'm getting on and off my skateboard. And during the animation, you either get on or get off your skateboard, you actually won't lose momentum. Normally you like decelerate a bit while you're manually, and that just avoids that.
Since we got the sprays earlier, Futurism is just here. They're waiting for us to talk to them, and they don't want to talk to them.
Yeah, they only talk to women. They have a policy, so we need to go switch to a female character. This is normally where the game like teaches you about switching characters, and this is how they force it on you. So we switch to Belle, and then we have to go back and talk to him now.
think this is like the only time we ever switch characters in the entire run.
Yeah.
We get to play all 3 of them anyway.
Yeah, we
the main 3 of the crew.
We get to play as Trice later on because Red gets shot in the head. So it forces us to play Trice, but luckily we don't have to go out of our way to skip to like switch to him. So here there's another zip you could do to kind of save some time. It could be kind of tricky to hit. Yeah, I just missed it. If you do miss it, you could just keep going. I'm gonna try it one more time just because I kind of want to hit it. Okay, well, not today. But you just zip straight into this loading trigger over here. It's not it's like you might as well go for it.
Or no, it's not Future. It's Eclipse. My bad.
I didn't even notice. But yeah, if you miss that zip, you could just walk over there. It's risk free to go for.
I remembered Futurism being in the cutscene beforehand, so that's their spot, right?
They both wear like greenish colors.
Yeah.
They're both all girls, so basically the same people. So this is Brink. We again have to do 3 challenges and collect some rep in order to kind of beat the level. So we are just going to be grabbing some rep before doing this first challenge.
In this challenge, they want us to get a 5 times multiplier on all these rails. And because of these sprays here, we might as well just spray them.
Yeah, we need a certain amount of rep to activate the next 2 challenges, so we can't skip too much. We have to make sure we get I think we get the exact amount we need to unlock the second and third challenges.
Yeah.
But first we're going to be doing, we need a little bit more rep. That wasn't the last of it. We need a little bit more. And to do that, we're going to get a zip off of this truck. This truck is actually a billboard, believe it or not. It's like a wall runnable surface. So we can do a zip off it. And we're going to do that to get to the docks area, which normally you're not supposed to be able to get to. If I can get
the
it.
zip spot for this area, or like this truck, is very particular where you hit it as well.
Yeah, I'll actually go back and go over that some more. But basically, you want to aim for like the dot in the corner. But yeah, you basically jump over to this docks area, which normally you're not supposed to be at. And we're just gonna grab some sprays here because there's a lot of like kind of sprays close together here, and it's right by where we need to go anyway. So it's just the most convenient ones to grab. And then now we're gonna do this jump to get back. And then we're gonna talk to Solace here, which is the next story trigger we got hit. So actually, before I start the second challenge, I'll talk a little bit more about this zip because it is a little particular. Yeah. So I went
talking to Solus. Get this cutscene trigger.
Yeah, it spawns a cutscene there.
Costumes.
So I just skipped it. So the way I like to think about this zip is I aim for like that dot up there, or like that kind of like darker, like black rectangle kind of in the top right corner. You don't want to aim for the exact corner because if you go all the way to the tip of the corner, you'll get a zip storage. I actually have a zip storage, so that's why it gave me that speed. But if I get rid of my zip storage by touching the billboard and then touch the very corner again, like that, it won't actually give me the zip. So you have to hit a little bit into the corner, like that.
And then jumping to the docks area. Fairly simple from jumping a little earlier than you'd expect. And then landing at the platform, because it's just right there.
Yeah, it's just make sure you jump. You can land anywhere over here. The first time around, I went straight for the rails. That's just kind of like a small optimization. But you don't need to do that jump by any means. You can just come down here and do the sprays in this order instead, because it is a lot easier to land down here than it is to land on those rails. So so that's that. So the second challenge is we need to get 25,000 score. And to do that, we're going to use a combination of boost tricks and multipliers. If you want to talk a bit about like how score works.
Yeah, so for this challenge in particular, we try and get a 3 times multiplier and do, I think, a total of 3 trick boosts.
Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't count there for a second in my head. But yeah, 3.
I had to count there because I'm not. But getting those trick boosts, they give you a lot of score when you get a multiplier.
Yeah.
They'll add up the more you get from the corners, billboards, or half pipes.
They do significantly more score than normal tricks, so much so that normal tricks are kind of like irrelevant in your combo overall. It's basically just how many boost tricks you hit and how many multipliers you get. Most commonly corners. Yeah, there's 3 different types of ways you could get a multiplier, and that's through quarter pipes, billboards, and corners. So I
is like a small boss fight.
yeah, it's like we have to go around and hit this sniper dude for 4 times. I kind of just brushed through that challenge that I did. Basically, you need to get a multiplier of 3 and hit some certain triggers. The last trigger is a little bit past the rail, so I just made sure not to end my combo until I was past that trigger. Yeah, and then now we're just going around, we're hitting the sniper dude.
The sniper, his name is Escher. He spawns in the same spots every time, so we have like a designated route to follow where he is. You could probably go through the route over him because
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of rushing through it right now. So you start off here, and then for this first jump, you could do a double jump, kind of like up this bus here, like how it's sloped. If you time your double jump right, you could just clamber on top of it. You have to make sure you boost on the rail before jumping off of it, so make sure you have some momentum. If you don't boost off the rail, these cops are like kind of annoying. You like barely, I think maybe you can make it, but it makes it a lot harder. Yeah, I don't even think you could do it.
You can't do it without a boost.
So you want to make sure you boost, you hit them once, and then you just kind of jump over here. You hit them second time, you grab that spray there because it's just a really convenient one to grab. And then I do this kind of the same type of jump over here for the third one. You don't have to, you could just hit them without getting up here. You could kind of just like brush past them like this. Yeah, and then keep going. I like to get up there, I think it's slightly faster. And then we grab this last spray before hitting them the last time like that.
Because the total rep we want at the end of all these challenges and everything is 100.
Yeah, I have 2 extra just because doing that extra route, your crewmates will actually grab you a rep sometimes if you wait long enough. Normally you go so fast in the normal run where they don't have time to grab it for you, but that's why I'm at 96 and not 94 here. So now here's another major skip of the game. What we're gonna do is we need to get to the top of that tower to activate the crew battle. Well, there's a spray up there we grab, and then out of that spray we activate the crew battle. It is a long walk. Normally you're supposed to walk all the way like through that like kind of gateway over there, through these planets, and then climb the tower. We're gonna skip all that. Do a trick called Escalade. Trick is notoriously inconsistent. Very finicky, kind of like those stairs in Nightmare 1, where it's like sometimes you bounce off them, sometimes you won't. This is another set of stairs where you'll sometimes bounce off them and sometimes you won't. It could be, I've been pretty consistent at it just through this setup. So I'll just kind of explain my setup for it real quick. What I do is there's kind of these dashed lines on the road right here, and I use those to line up with the billboard. So they're kind of like parallel with each other like this. And then I have it so the first dashed line that's completely in the shadow, kind of like there's one dashed line that's like half in the shadow, half not. The one after that that's completely in the shadow, I line up the tip of that with the tip of the billboard like this. And then now I'm gonna walk into the dashed line that's like half in the light, half in the shadow. If that was confusing, that's okay. I have a more detailed tutorial on my YouTube, but just kind of, that's what I'm doing. And then from there, I'm just gonna hold manual and try and hit those stairs as head on as possible. And usually you get the bounce. It's it really depends on where you get the zip. Here, that kind of like dictates whether or not you'll get the bounce. A lot of times you'll just clip through it, but most of the time, if you follow that setup and make sure you kind of go in a straight line towards those stairs and don't like wobble around, you won't clip through them or go over them. You'll usually bounce off them. Okay, right there, I got kind of a bad bounce. So a lot could go wrong with escalator, but that's how I do it to make it the most consistent. Yeah, then from here you come up here to the spray, and then I accidentally fell, so now I have to do it again. As you can see, I hope I'm showing that it's really not that bad, but it can be. So out of the spray, this is gonna be the last spray we need to get the rep to activate the crew battle. Normally out of the spray, if you spam double jump and interact, you will talk to them, because as you see, they're like right up here. If I toggle on triggers, you'll see their trigger is actually pretty huge to talk to them. So if you do the spray and then mash double jump and interact with, you'll actually kind of like just interact with the spray right away. The cutscene, sorry, after doing the spray, thank you. So for this crew battle, we actually don't have to do anything. There's no zip storage we need to get, because for Dream 2, there is no billboards, so we don't need storage. So all we need to do is get the score, which is pretty easy to do. You need 190,000. Just boost tricks and multipliers. As you can see, I've already reached the amount. One thing we like to do is, since we have so much extra time, we like to kind of go for some memes. And one of the memes is called dog percent. Let's see if I can hit, yeah, okay, I hit this version. You come up here through a zip, or I guess you could climb it normally. There's a dripped out dog here. He's actually a little spooked at me right now. Okay, no, he's fine. Let me reset him. You kind of look away and come back, you respawn him. And then we just say hi, basically. And that's dog percent.
That's dog percent.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a proper BRC tutorial if I didn't mention dog percent. But other than that, we just have to wait it out. It's just an auto scroller, basically. Nothing to do. Make sure you get the score. Make sure your boost meter is full. I like to usually practice escalator or just zip. Sometimes I practice docks. But yeah.
Crew battles are just a lot of free time, because they have a set amount, or at least an average.
Yeah,
score that you can just beat very easily if you know the score.
Yeah,
I think this one is like a 160.
It's 190 for this one. Yeah, it's 190. At least I thought it was. No, I'm looking at their score now, and they're very low. So maybe I was wrong. I don't know. Either way, you could breeze past 200,000 in like 20 seconds, so it's not a big deal.
There it is.
Okay,
so much better.
It's pretty easy to get score in this game once you kind of like know how. And the secret is just do a lot of boost tricks, get a lot of multipliers. It's really all boost tricks. Boost tricks just give you so much more score than normal tricks. I've mentioned this before. I'm just gonna mention it again because it's so important to know. Even if you're playing the game casually and you just want to do like the post-game score battles, boost tricks. Do a lot of boost tricks.
Yeah, since there's not really much happening in this stream, you're doing your thing.
Oh, I was just on autopilot.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to do in this stream. It's all just platforming around the rails. Nothing too fancy. All these corner cuts, except this jump.
This is really the only real skip. You just do a boost.
Go back to.
Oh yeah, should I shut it off again?
Because this all goes by so fast. This is like the only big-ish skip in this dream. Just one corner cut.
My camera's glitched because I touched that rocket rail.
You touched that.
So I have to go back. I don't even know how to fix that.
I think you just got to.
Okay, let me do that.
Because you did it on like the no clip state.
Okay, from here I should be good.
Go there and you should be fine. A lot of corner cuts in this level. It's just a very particular part that you have to jump off of, which is a little bit past the bend here.
Right.
With a boost jump. And then you just kind of delay your second jump after another boost, because using your boost early will cut all momentum off from any jump or launch in particular. So you always want to do a boost first into another jump for that one in particular. And the rest is carrying a trick combo to get your boost back for the rest of these vents here, because doing a trick jump off of them gives you a farther launch, and we want to cancel them all for these last few trucks so we can get to the end a little bit faster.
Yeah, and we want to make sure our combo's high, because the higher your combo is, each consecutive trick will give you more boost back than if your combo is like kind of low. It maxes out at I think 50 tricks.
Yeah.
So that's why we want to make sure we build our combo early, so that way we have enough. By doing like one trick, we refill enough of our boost where we can do another boost trick off those vents.
We're back with another unskippable cutscene.
Yep. Fortunately, this is the last one of the whole run.
Talking about the coolest crew in the area.
Yeah.
.exe.
Fun fact, they are voiced by the same dude who invented the troll face. That troll face, the one you're thinking of right now. The dude that invented that voiced these guys, which is when someone first said that in the Discord, I was like, that is the weirdest troll ever. Who would make that up? But it turned out to be true.
My favorite is always be the scratch ball.
Yeah.
Enough of that. We're getting out of the hideout.
Yep, this is the start of chapter 3. And we're gonna go to the mall. So we just gotta get out of the hideout.
This is another shortcut that was blocked off that we couldn't get through for the beginning, because that loading zone also just warped you back to the. Oh,
I didn't mean to hit that.
to the hideout. Here, this is a trick that we call shallot, I think.
Yeah.
Based off of like a Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, there's a Jet Set Radio trick called Onion, I think, and this is like
Yeah.
the name is based off that. But basically, it's another slide clip, just like Pretty Boy Skip or the early Matan one. You just go up against the wall, toggle your FPS to 30. It doesn't have to be on 30, I should note, for slide clips. It's just the lower your FPS is, the more consistent it is. On 30, it's basically 100% consistent to clip through ceilings. But you can do it on higher FPSs, it just sometimes won't let you. That is why we lower our frame rate. So all you have to do is like face into the wall, kind of straight on, tap slide, and then immediately tap jump. And then once you're through the ceiling, you just double jump to the left to kind of get out of bounds. From here, we access the trigger like that.
Yeah, normally you'd have to get a rep count of, I think, 150.
It's a lot. I think it's 150.
And we don't want to do that, so we just clip through. There were a lot of variations before clipping through, like getting zip at the top of the area. That was not fun.
Yeah, it was a long climb. It was not fun. Right here, I'm going to mention real quick, this is kind of like a trickier jump, but if I don't mention it now, there really isn't a better time to mention it. If you jump off a rail that's slanted, if there's a rail that's slanted and then at some point it evens out like that, if you jump at a specific time, you actually kind of like bounce up high, kind of like that. You want to do it like when the tip of your board is like just past the like the lip, like where it starts to even out, or maybe that's wrong. It's a very specific timing that it's pretty hard to hit. But if you don't get that jump, what you could do is you can stand on top of this thing and then do a trick jump and kind of curve it around, and that will get you up to here where the trigger is.
And trick jumps are a pretty easy way to get a very high vertical area. Basically being in the name, tricking and jumping. do that. Any trick button would activate it.
Yeah, here I could
would say
show
that
them
the
up.
harder part is like curving around for that.
Yeah, so basically doing a jump after any trick will kind of give you this higher height. You could kind of like curve the trick around. So let's say I could trick out this way, but then I could kind of curve it backwards and then do a jump like that. So let's say you're on like a pretty small area like this. Normally if I tried to do a trick jump, I would just roll like kind of, I don't have the surface area for it. But if you kind of like curve it around, okay, this like that. Vending machines kind of like lock you on.
Controlled by the vending machine.
Like that, you could kind of do a trick jump off a smaller surface area. So that's what we do off this plant. So from here, after we grab this 8, you could actually access this next vinyl trigger kind of from below like this. So you could either do a trick jump up, I think even a double jump will reach it, and that will just kind of get you up here. So we take advantage of that fact.
Got all this early rep for the challenges coming up as well.
Yeah, we're shooting to get 54 rep in this kind of first room before we get to the main room. Because that's how much rep you need to spawn the first challenge that's right by the door. So here, this is a prop jump you could kind of do. It kind of works the same way as this that like slope jump down there, except for instead of like it's like a change of elevation thing. I don't actually know the exact physics behind it, but it's basically timing a jump like as you collide with it. I think since I already did it once, I kind of like moved the prop. I don't know if I could do it again. But that is something you could go for. It is a little bit tricky, so if you don't want to do that, what you could do is you could stand on this counter and just do a trick jump up here and get a clamber, or you could just take the stairs like the developers intended. And then here there's an NPC above the ceiling. Can you really not see their hitbox?
You can see the trigger. I think you turned it off.
I'm toggling on and off right now. Okay, well,
I thought you were able to.
I could have sworn you could too, but basically we need to talk to this dude right here, this old school swagging guy. So his hitbox like kind of extends through the floor. So if we do a trick jump up to where his trigger is, which is like kind of like right where I am right now, is like about where it is. It's kind of like
I would say it's like between the lights a little bit back.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you exactly where. It's a decent range, so I just kind of fling myself in this direction and then talk to him like that, and that'll let you kind of like teleport through the ceiling. And then from here we could talk to Vinyl, which is the next trigger. And then now we want to get up here on this fountain. Normally you need to get however much rep this guy wants to kind of like take these speakers off this palm tree to get up there. But there are a lot of different ways to get up here. The fastest version is to do a jump like that. The timing's pretty tricky. I'm only gonna go for it like 3 times. Okay, well there we go. You could do the same type of jump with the same timing, kind of off these like little ramps here, like that. Those are pretty tricky though. I'm surprised I got them in that few attempts. It's another like change of elevation thing, where if you jump like right when you're changing elevation, you kind of like bump into it. And the game kind of like sends you higher like that. That works pretty much anywhere where there's like a bump. So either here, you can even do it off these lily pads, though the timing's like weird.
I've never seen anyone do it off the line.
I think I'm the only person who's done it. But the more consistent way to do this jump is to come over here and you do a boost jump into a... Okay, I got the harder ones and then missed the easy one. You do a boost trick kind of off the slope of this like fixture here, and kind of like propels you up like that. You can also, you don't have to do a trick jump, you could just do like a normal boost like that, then do a double jump to get the clamber. You could also do a trick jump off this into a double jump to get a clamber, but that for me this is kind of the hardest method because you have to like time the double jump right.
Yeah, the double jump timing after a trick jump is almost completely RNG.
Yeah.
When you're able to freely jump, which is a little unfortunate because that one is actually the easiest way.
It would be the easiest way if it wasn't for that RNG.
Yeah.
So once you're up here, Once you jump off this palm tree, you could do this spray. The hitbox like extends out enough. And then we're gonna jump to this rail. Again, skipping that like old head rep check where you normally have to unlock the palm tree. And then here we're gonna clip into the warehouse. So in this part right here, there's actually just no collision. There's a few spots in the game like this where they just like forgot to put collision. We used one early in Versum. Here's another one. So you could either kind of jump off the rail. Like this is how I normally do it. Or you could do a trick jump up there. Let's say if you miss that jump. And then normally you're supposed to leave the warehouse through that rail we just rode on, but we're gonna use it to enter. That spray right there is like a trigger that opens the main room. So we're gonna hit that trigger and then just double back. And then grab a few more sprays here. This jump could be a little tricky. So what you could do instead, if you want, you could just come here and then come up here. And then just grab these 2 sprays. These are the last 2 sprays we need in the main area, or in the first area, sorry. And then now we're gonna go to the main area.
We got just enough sprays to unlock the first challenge. Get some more as well to get closer to the next challenges, because they require quite a bit of rep.
Yeah, we're just gonna go through kind of like the easy way to do these challenges. We just need to get a combo of 50. You can do. Okay, oh, I missed it. I kind of wanted to flex.
That's fine.
So basically, you just grab this 8, and then the fastest way, by the way, to build a combo is on foot, spam manual, and just spam trick. And as you can see, you kind of build the number up pretty quickly. So we're just gonna do this. We grab that 8, and then also boost tricks. Can refill your manual meter at the bottom. If your manual meter runs out, it will end your combo. It's kind of the yellow bar there at the bottom. A boost trick will reset that. So we use like a boost trick to do that.
The manual meter is kind of like Tony Hawk's like trick meter. I think that's how they do it. And Tony Hawk, you're on foot for too long. That's what I remember.
I've actually never played Tony Hawk, but I'll take your word.
They're fun.
Yeah, I don't know why I've never played them. So this challenge is very straightforward. We just need to cross like the gap. It's basically there's a trigger on the other balcony that we have to reach without breaking combo. We're gonna grab this 6 on the way. So yeah,
getting around these like fishes are. Story's just making it look easy. But
it's yeah. Once you get a feel for the controls, they're
like the slopes.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
They're tricky to jump around, as well as the robo post there can completely take away your
yeah,
speed for
it's
random reasons.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Yeah, robo posts, like if you hit them in specific ways, they just kind of like kill your momentum, like dead in its tracks. So it's not good when that happens. You have to be careful. So for this challenge, we need 100,000 score. The challenge will just end once we reach 100,000 score. There's a few routes you could do. This is the one I like to do. Basically, a lot of boost tricks and a lot of multipliers.
And the thing with combo challenges as well is that your tricks can also stale the more that you do them. So you want to do like a wider variety of tricks at a closer time, just so you can get like the maximum amount of points or maximum amount of score.
Yeah, even for boost tricks, even though the animation is the same, whether or not you hit trick 1, trick 2, or trick 3 with the boost trick, they count as like separate tricks for like the staling system. So you want to make sure you're switching them up. It resets every time you touch a rail, or you like get on a new rail for the first time. So it's like not if you're on the same rail, but if you get off a rail and then get back on, it'll reset. So they're all like fresh again.
This challenge, you're supposed to grab all the boost pellets or boost cans. There are triggers on like the first batch and second batch of each
Yeah.
group of them.
There's like
But you have to hit those triggers to get the challenge complete. If you skip them completely, then it won't end.
yeah, you have to get them, and you can't break combo either.
Here's a mini combat phase. Combat is very rare in this game, so
There is exactly
best-
2 instances of it.
best way to clear these pops are to bunch them up and do a trick jump into a spray, because sprays will instant stop them from being aggro.
Yeah, cops have an HP of 7. If you defeat them with a spray like that by knocking them up, it just insta kills them. But if you want to beat them up normally, they have a HP of 7, and then boosts do 3. So if you boost into them like 3 times, they will die as well. But the fastest way is to knock them up.
And you kind of just went through this robot fight real fast.
Yeah, I should have maybe saved there. I just go on autopilot too much. Should I reload a save for that?
I don't think so, because that fight is pretty important to learn. If you go too slow, it'll kind of mess up.
So I should reload a save.
I think so.
Okay.
Just remember to screen share again.
Yeah.
For the sake of the tutorial.
Yeah, it's definitely worth mentioning. So the way the fight works pretty much in general is you just have to knock off both arms and then do the like main head. So you can do that without ever like falling off of him. By what I do is I do a double jump right before spraying one of the arms, and that makes sure you have a little bit of height. So that way when you double jump out of the spray, you can you could like go over his head. So here if I do an arm, then I'll do a double jump there to make sure I have enough height. And now when I do a double jump out of the spray, I could clear it over him. Like that. And then that's how you kind of get over his head. If you don't do that double jump, it could be really tricky. I think it's still technically possible, but yeah, you can't really like go over his head as easily like that. Here, I'll run through it one more time because the whole fight's so quick. But
if you take too long to get to him, he'll start to do like random attacks.
Oh yeah, he has attacks. So again, I do the double jump. You could open these little like vents by a few different ways. You could double jump into it. You could do a boost. You could do a trick. All these that count as like an attack in the game's like code. And then for this last jump onto his head, I jump onto his like lower like shoulder part there. He actually shook a little bit and knocked me off. If that happens, you can jump back up like that. Yeah. So pretty quick fight if you do it the right way.
Or the save has all the sprays.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah, that's definitely nice.
the cool thing.
So here, normally what we have to do, I'm actually gonna turn the cops off just because they're annoying. Normally we have to go back through like where we did that slide challenge, and go all the way around to a gate. Here, I could actually just demonstrate that real quick. So normally after you do this fight, it puts you like right here, and then you have to do this long walk, which isn't too bad. All the way around. And if you're a beginner, this is what I would recommend, because the trick I'm going to show off in a second to skip this could be a little annoying, kind of inconsistent. What we have to do is we have to use a zip to clip through a wall, and sometimes the wall will just reject you, and you will have to either do it again or come back and do this walk around. Normally this gate will be closed if you're following the rep route I've been showing off so far. So what you could do is you come up here and you could grab this 8. This safe file already has it sprayed, and then once you do this 8, then the gate will open, and then you can keep walking or sliding, in this case on these slide carpets, and then you can just come over here to .exe, and that would activate the crew battle by talking to them right here. So the skip we do to skip all that's called mall clip. It involves getting a zip off this billboard like this, and then clipping through the wall like that, and then coming over here. Then we would grab this 8 here instead of that 1 at the end of the slide challenge that I just showed, and that would spawn them in, and then we talk to them. So the way I found to make this clip most consistent is you kind of like, you want to be rotating into it. Kind of like how I was there. I hold back and left. So I'm holding like down left on my left stick with my camera kind of angled like straight away or like a little bit to the right. That makes sure I'm turning like as sharply as possible because you want to hit it kind of dead on as you're rotating. I found to give yourself the best odds. And then also what I'll do is I'll flick my camera away because this might be placebo, but I feel like if your camera is flicking away, it's made it a lot more consistent for me. I have a lot of superstitions with this trick because of how inconsistent it's been for me in the past. But if I kind of turn my camera away and hold back left like that, I feel like I've been getting it pretty consistently. Like that. And from here, you jump across the gap of like the void and make it over.
And there's a case if you don't clip through like this, there is a backup top of here.
Yeah, I usually don't do this backup, so we'll see if I can. So you just hit it. Yeah, you just go straight to the wall, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll save my position, so I'll give it a few tries. But basically, you get a zip storage here. Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty easy. I normally don't go for this backup. I don't really know why. I guess I just haven't practiced it that much. But basically, you get a zip storage off the edge of that billboard, and then just make the jump like that. So that is the backup if you have storage. If you do touch a billboard, you won't be able to do the backup anymore because you lost your zip storage. When that happens, you will have to either walk back and get the zip again or just walk around.
You'd have to do the normal walk.
Yeah. Okay, that's how it rejected me. Again, sometimes walls will just kind of reject you. Not super consistent why. I don't need to do this spray. But yeah, that is mall clip. It is one of the harder tricks in the game, in my opinion. So don't feel bad if you're starting off if you just want to walk around. It doesn't lose that much time. I think it's like 30 seconds. Maybe a little bit more.
This crew battle, I think .exe gets 270.
I think it's 250, but I was wrong about the last one, so now I'm second guessing myself.
I think it's around 270.
Okay. But yeah, if you follow the route I just did, hitting the corners, doing boost tricks, you could blow them out of the water pretty quickly.
We get score very fast with all these boost tricks. With this score battle, we're gonna have to set up another zip storage for this stream in particular, which has a very impressive skip, I would say. I think it's a good one.
I think visually it's the best looking in the game.
Yeah.
I'm doing a setup here just to give me a more consistent value for the zip storage. You don't have to do this setup. You can just jump on this billboard. I'm actually curious. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna do it again because I didn't like that value. If you get a value of, I just discovered this today. If you get a value of somewhere between 144.3 and 144.5, I think. It's like 144.4 is the sweet spot. You get a super bounce, and you could skip the whole level. Like, I don't even know how it's like. It'll make more sense once you actually see the trick in a bit. Let's see, what was that? That was 144.5, so I might get it with this one.
You won't be able to really see what value you get in a run.
Yeah.
In this case,
I'm using the practice tools to do it.
Utils.
You're normally not supposed to have these in a real run. Oh, the fish. Oh, that's a weak meme.
So we gotta figure out the pins.
It's like a 3 out of 10 meme. I'm just gonna skip it. So this is nightmare 2. I'm sorry, Splatty. Splatty is in the probably listening to this, screaming at me right now. So this is nightmare 2. What we're gonna do is we're gonna get his storage off of this billboard. To do this, we press ourselves against it, and then we get on the board to kind of like whenever you're getting on and off a board, when you're standing still, you can kind of rotate in place and you won't actually move. So we're gonna use that to everyone's screaming. Should I go? I could go back, I think, right?
I don't think so.
Oh no. If I knew where to no clip
People have
to,
spoken.
yeah. I don't like it because it loses me time. The other memes don't lose me time. That meme loses me time.
We're doing a tutorial here.
I know, but
There's
it's just I don't
no
know.
time to lose.
That is true, but it's too late now. So you turn around. You make sure you're touching the billboard. And you turn around, and now when you're faced away from here, all you have to do is hit jump, and you will get a zip storage like that. And then to get the bounce, you just have to hold manual, like that. What I like to do is I like to do a double jump right here at the start. I found it made this trick more consistent. I didn't get the super bounce, unfortunately, but this is what the trick looks like normally. And right here where it's,
everything.
yeah, it literally skips the entire level. Yeah. What am I forgetting to talk about? Oh, here's the super bounce.
This bounce gets kind of to the end. I think probably it does.
Yeah, because you could.
I thought there was like a big invisible wall back there. I don't know why I didn't think about the right side.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like it's the same. It's like or what's the word? Symmetrical. It's symmetrical with the with the other side. That's actually. I'm glad you mentioned that because we should mention the backup if you do hit this invisible wall. So there's an invisible wall here, which is why when you see me do the trick, I'll kind of take a wide turn around here instead of just going straight here. You might think, oh, you could just go straight here, but nope, there's an invisible wall. It goes about this high. Yeah, I'm like on top of it right now, and it sticks out to about here, where I'm at right now. So that's why you take the wide turn. If you do hit it, what you can do is you could come down here, and there's a little hole you could fall down. Okay, I actually fell down the wrong.
That's a soft lock.
Yeah, that's a soft lock.
That's
but
the
I
right
just hit
hole, but you have to jump.
like that. You have to like. I didn't even know that was
You
there.
have to jump
to be honest.
around it.
It's the first time that's ever happened to me. Yeah, so you have to jump there, I guess, or you will get soft lock. So that's good to note.
So the purpose of this entire skip skips a cop interaction from that like beginning of this last area. There is a cop cutscene that spawns everywhere. Yeah, it spawns everyone, and if we skip to the end spray without fighting those cops, it will hard lock the game and crash. Not really hard lock, but I guess it just does the crash, and we don't want that to happen.
Yeah, the cutscene, you can't see it with the trigger view, unfortunately, but it's like right in front of me. You could actually walk around it, fun fact. I guess might as well show that off. I should show what happens if you fail the second bounce.
I think overall for this skip entirely, the second bounce is what will kill the run.
Yeah, you
Once again, like the stairs, you won't always get like a bump.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want that bounce, but sometimes you will just roll off the edge. To make sure you have enough height, you have to make sure you do kind of like a relaxed turn in the air like this. If you turn too sharply in air, it will actually kill your height. So like, let's say I try and just go straight there. You see, I don't get nearly as much height. So that's another thing to know. You want to make sure you're kind of doing a nice relaxed turn to kind of get over here. There, that one was even too sharp.
Because if you turn too early at this first launch, it'll just kill the height.
Yeah.
So if you're not fully neutral off of this jump, it'll highly change the outcome.
Yeah, and then what he said. Yeah, so if you do miss this bounce, as long as you touch this platform right here, you will set your respawn here. So even if you touch this, let's say you don't get the bounce and you just kind of roll off, it will respawn you here. And so you still have skipped most of the level. So it's a very risk-free trick. So it's definitely worth going for. And then when this does happen, should I mention this skipping the cops, or is that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So the cop cutscene's right here in front of me. Though the trigger isn't wide enough where you could actually just walk around it. If you just kind of like hug the edge of the island here and make this jump, you have to make that jump over. You can't hug the edge of the island there. And normally the cops are supposed to like spawn all around me, but they're not, because we skipped the trigger. And then what you have to do is you have to do a zip off this billboard to clip through the wall. I haven't done it in a while, so let me see if I can even get it. There we go. I think that was a storage, but either way, you get through here. You want to touch this wall, like make sure you touch this wall. This will set your respawn point on the other side of this wall. So that way, when you fall off, you will spawn here and then you can finish the level this way. If you do spawn the cops in and you do that trick to clip through the wall and respawn there, Bytes mentioned this earlier, but I'll just mention it again here while we're talking about the cops. It will crash the game after you spray that graffiti. So do not try and skip the cop fight unless you have skipped the cop cutscene. So here's the cop cutscene. In the
case that you do get the cop cutscene, you can still do the skip, but you would have to save and quit when you spawn on the other side of the wall to prevent the crash.
Yeah, so you come here, you make sure you touch the trigger, and then from here you just save and quit.
That's Dream 3.
Yeah.
It'll start you with no boost, so you'd have to.
Yeah, you have to build up combo. I used the cheat tool to give me some boost because I didn't feel like taking forever to get up here.
Things to note there is you get the cops, save and quit. If you don't get it, you can spawn. The big things. That last part.
Yeah.
And now for Trice.
Red has been shot in the head, so it makes us play as Trice.
We're gonna get Flesh Prince.
We actually don't.
Right. All right.
We're doing the shovel club
go.
I wasn't ready. You had to prep me ahead of time. My acting skills, I didn't brush it up. But okay. Here, you want to talk about?
From the last patch of the game, Reptile fixed a spawn point. From if you don't have any spawn points saved, it'll spawn you inside the Pyramid Island. And for some reason, we don't need to progress the rest of the story here. We can just go straight inside and just progress normally. Because what we're supposed to do is talk to a bunch of pranks, and then they'll tell us that the Flesh Prince is in Baton, in their hideout, and we have to talk to him there, which is a long detour.
It's like a whole quest line.
Instead, we just go straight to Pyramid Island here, and Story can show us how that works.
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to not set our death point, and to do that, we have to leave the ground as soon as possible. The way death points work is if you're on the ground for like 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds, I think. I actually don't know the exact value. But if you're on the ground like I am right now for that length of time, it'll set your death point to wherever like you last touched while you were doing that. And then whenever you void out, let's say by like falling in water, it will put you back to that death point. So what you could do is you could set a death point, and then if you just like keep bunny hopping, you can kind of like save that location. So if you void out, you kind of teleport back there. But if there is no death point yet in a level, the game has default ones, which Bytes explained. So we make sure we spam jump through the loading screen. So we jump as soon as possible. You also want to hold left so you get on the rail, because rails don't count as the ground. And then basically you just want to jump in the water as fast as possible without touching the ground for about like 2 seconds. It's a pretty generous window. So if you touch the ground for a little bit, you're okay. And it'll put you here.
And this is going to be a simplified route, or like more beginner friendly, that we recently made. So what we're going to do here is go straight to this 8 spray, this extra large. And we're going to duplicate the rep by spraying it, and as it pops up, you can show the rep there.
As it pops up
with like the name and like the zoom out, you can save and quit, and then spray it again.
Yeah,
there we have 8, and right now we're trying to get a total of 50 for the first challenge. So we would do this. What was it? 5 times?
We do it 5 times. Yeah, take a 40, then we're gonna go 4 and a 6. So
put out.
Yeah, right when
we put out 4
comes
times,
up.
but get the spray 5.
Yeah. So it's when that text pops up in the bottom left, but before the whole animation is finished, that is when you want to quit out. And that makes sure like right there, when the text pops up. And that just makes sure that the game still has the spray like undone, but you still get the rep from it. And then also, normally the game, how many times have I done it? Have you been counting?
This is the last one.
This is the last one? Okay. Yeah, I want to mention this real quick before we move on. Normally, the game does not put you like wherever you were like, let's say if I quit out here, it will not put me back here. The game has a few like default spots where like depending on what area you were last in, it'll put you in that spot. Conveniently, there's a spot right in front of the spray, and that's what makes this fast. Because you could technically dupe any spray in the game, but what happens is you would have to walk up, like there's no other sprays that are so conveniently right next to somewhere where you load in, where you could do it right away after loading back in. So that is why this is the only time in the whole run we dupe rep, even though you think it would be useful to do everywhere.
4.
Yeah, I forgot the 4.
And you could be thinking, why don't we just duplicate the spray for the whole level? Well, first, that would be boring.
Yeah.
And second, we still have challenges to do. So the reason why we get the 50 here is to get this first challenge. And then from then on, we just get the rest of the rep during these score battles, because they're already like timed. And doing a spray pauses that time, and we're just trying to get as many as we can, pretty much before the time ends.
Yeah,
so
it will.
Here we're gonna get these first 3 sprays, and then try and clean up this first area, pretty much. Just setting our death warp for this half.
Yeah, these challenges are like the crew battles where they're auto scrollers, so it doesn't matter how quickly you get the score. It just matters that you have more score than them by the end, so it makes it a perfect time to just grab sprays.
You can do a death warp. We can get to the last few sprays.
Oh, I never set my death warp.
You never said it. No. That's fine.
What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna save and quit, and we're just gonna do the whole challenge again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just so we can show off the whole route. So failing the score battles is very punishing. That is where a lot of people struggle with this run, is pyramid with the score battles. This is kind of like an easier route than like the full any % route we do, but it can still be tricky. But yeah. So the death warp timer, like I mentioned, is pretty generous. So it's so generous that I actually missed it there. So here I should definitely have been on the ground long enough to set it. So that one should have definitely set.
And the reason you want to set it on that half pipe is because it will cancel the get up animation that you have to do. It's just like more convenient that way because we're going this side as well.
I also forgot it's faster to do the sprays in that order than the order I did the first time around. So normally that's how you do it to save the most time. And as you see, I canceled the get up animation. That's actually the first time I've ever done that. I'm glad it worked out.
This is a bit of a tricky jump. You can jump on the billboard between these two sprays. So don't let this kind of alarm you how hard that is.
Yeah, I'll go back and kind of talk about those more after this challenge ends. But for now,
the reason why we're here,
yeah,
we're trying to set up a death warp for the next challenge because it's a race. This spray, we're trying to get there faster than them. They don't even know it yet.
you want to make sure you're airborne when you end those challenges, when you're saying a death warp. If you're on the ground, you can sometimes lose your death warp like in between the cutscenes. Yeah. So I'm going to do the race challenge, then I'll go back and talk about those jumps just because I don't want to reset the death warp.
We're challenging this Devil Theory member to a race. There's a spray at the end where we saw our death warp. So, he doesn't know this, but we're already there.
Yeah, we kind of use our like cheater god mode to beat him.
We cheated so hard that he called the cops on us.
He did.
That is called the Carson. Getting all 6 cops into one trick jump spray.
Yeah, it could be tricky. The way I kind of set it up is I kind of like go to the right and go to the left to kind of bait out a swing, and then I kick them, and then I kind of wait as long as I can before jumping out of the kick. Like if I kick and then jump right away, usually I don't get all of them. If I kick, kind of wait as long as I can, then jump, then you kind of get them all in one pack. It doesn't always happen. Sometimes their RNG could kind of make them not group up the way you want them to. But yeah, that is my method for it. So for these jumps, basically you want to come down here and land on, whoops, I switched outfits. You want to land on like this L rail right here before jumping and getting the spray. I guess you could do it in a lot of different ways. The way I like to do is I like to hit this corner, short hop, and then do it like that.
And short hopping off of rails is holding manual or jumping off of them.
Yeah, and you get like a less high of a jump. But you don't have to do that. You could, however you want to get down here. But you want to make sure you jump into the spray and then hold right out of it. So you turn right and then you could do a boost jump to reach this spray. If you do miss that spray, a backup is you could come to this vent and do a boost trick and then get up like this. You could also do this other spray like that if you want to. Or you could always just touch the billboards and do it that way. Or if you don't like this jump at all, what you could do is you could come down here, do this one, and then just go straight to the billboard. Like this, and then come back for it like that. But yeah, so after you're done with the cop fight, we're gonna come over here. We're gonna do this this pretty funny challenge right here. You could do this challenge in a few ways. The funniest way, well, actually, let me explain how the challenge works first. So basically, there's these 3 triggers here above these 3 quarter pipes. The game, the challenge wants us to get a 3x combo off these quarter pipes, but the game only checks to see if you touch these 3 triggers above these quarter pipes in one combo. So what you can do is, let me have him reset me. You can come over here and just kind of like jump into him and push yourself against the rail, and that will count as a completion.
Really silly.
Yeah, a little silly way.
You watched us do that.
Here, I should mention that quarter pipes, when you come down them, they give you like a burst of speed that's faster than just like a normal boost. But you don't have to like go all the way up them and come down. You could literally just kind of go up them for a tiny bit and then come down and still get the speed boost, kind of like this. So out of this challenge, you could do that, and then you could get on and off your vehicle like this to kind of preserve the momentum, like how I talked about with Milky Way. to get over here, and that is like the most optimal way to do that.
Here's another standing billboard that we're gonna be setting up a zip from.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say we can probably talk about like where you stand. Get a zip here.
Oh yeah.
Visually would be easier.
It's I think of it at like I want anywhere from like a quarter to like 60% of, or sorry, a quarter to like 40% of my foot to be hanging off the edge. So like this will work, even though like a bit more will work. You don't want more than half your foot though hanging off the edge, or I don't. Okay, that will work. So you can even have like just your toes kind of hanging off, and have it still work. But here I'm gonna go ahead and just let the challenge end, and then I'll go through the route not in the challenge, just so I have all the time I need to kind of like go through everything and explain it. And I say as I activate the challenge again. Whoops. Whatever, we'll just pretend we're not in the challenge. So an easy way to get on top of this billboard is to get on this roof first before double jumping up. You can just kind of like jump off, turn around and jump back up, but that could be hard for some people. So you can just jump on this roof, come back like that, line up your zip. And there's a few different zips here you could do to kind of accomplish the same goal. The one I normally do is a manual off this building, kind of do a 180 and then get a bounce here to get up to this 8. And then from this 8, you want to get up to this roof. Then we're going to go through the lab and then continue on with the rest of the route. But that's one way to do it. Another way you could do it, if I can get up there, is you could kind of like curve to the left and then get a bounce off this pillar. And you could do it that way. Or what you could do, this is probably the easiest way. Actually, the challenge is going to end on me. Yeah. Okay, make sure I say no this time. The probably easiest way to do it, though it is kind of the slowest, so it leaves you like the least amount of time to like work with in the actual challenge, is to manual off this and come to the right and bounce off it like this and then kind of fly around like this.
And whenever you want to bounce on these sides, you want the you want to hit it very parallel to the geometry. Because if you hit it straight on, you're more than likely going to lose all your speed or clip through.
Yeah, like
I think clipping through is like the worst case scenario.
Yeah, for sure, because then you just void out. But yeah, you just want to hit them parallel like this. That will give you the most height.
If, little tap.
Hell yeah.
If you do it like there, that's clipping through, like how Bites was talking about.
Clipping straight through is very bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you're going like the left side. If you turn like way too strong, you could clip through and get inside like the bike room.
Oh yeah, I've had that happen before. Let's see if I can just do it real quick. Like that. Oh, well, I clipped all the way through.
Oh, you just all the way through.
That's never happened before. But so yeah, basically you want to do one of these bounces up there. This is the one I normally do. You're gonna grab the 8. From the 8, you could jump over to this platform. You could also just jump from this platform to the 8. So let's say you can't aim straight for the 8, you could do that instead. You could also use this vent to do a trick jump off of it, or like a boost trick off of it. You get up it that way.
And to mention, after spraying as well, you get your boost and jump back. So if you've already spent both of them, you'll get them back after the spray animation.
Yeah, that's that is important to note. So there I use a boost and double jump, but I can still double jump back and use a boost. And then even if I miss, I could still use the vent to get up. Then from there, we're gonna come through the lab. We're gonna grab that 6, that 4, this other 4, and then that 8 before jumping out the window. And then we're gonna set a death point right here for later for the crew battle. You basically wanna set it inside this kind of like this box I'm kind of like drawing or outlining with Trice. Somewhere in this box, I think you can even do it a little wider. And that'll be good enough to talk to the trigger. You're gonna come down here, you're gonna grab the 6, this 8, That's on this rail here. And then from here, this is where we're going to get our score through a combination of boost tricks and these corners. I'm low on boost, so I'm going to give myself some. So you're going to hit these corners here as you're coming down, do boost tricks. We're going to grab that 6 and then finally that 6, and then that will end score battle 2. You should have some time left over. So in that case, you could just jump back, making sure not to stay on the ground too long to reset your death warp, and basically make it to the rails where you are going to be safe. So with that all out of the way, we could actually do the challenge. Show you what it looks like.
Come on.
A little close call there. Again, you want to hit it parallel to get the most height. I didn't hit it super parallel, so I didn't bounce up as much as maybe wanted to, but it's okay. You have a decent amount of wiggle room in these score battles. You have, I'd say, about like 10 seconds, give or take. Like if you do it perfectly, you'll have about 10 seconds left over. So you go forward some mistakes.
In this lab, you don't really have to worry about score too much, only until the end, so you can use up a lot of boost. And for the most part, you would be getting your boost back by doing different spray patterns. We did mention that a little earlier on, that unique spray patterns give you your boosts, and depending what size they are, gives you a different amount of boost.
Yeah,
so medium would give you about like 20% boost. Large would give you 40, and I think actually gives you 60%.
yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have them unlocked on this save file. Otherwise, I'd show them off. But yeah, this is where your death warp should be set.
Hey.
And then from here, we just want to come activate the trigger to start the helicopter fight by talking to them. And again, you want to keep your death warp through that little sequence and then through this fight right here. So you'll make sure, I'll just, yeah.
This helicopter fight is fairly simple, getting this first one. You can't get all of them in one go. If you try to go for the second one straight off of the first, it will just kind of back off with a cooldown.
Yeah, I
You
will.
always want to hit this this third helicopter near the floor because it'll faster.
Hey.
Yeah, when the third helicopter blows up, that is when the challenge like gets triggered to start ending. So if you hit it like above the water, it'll take longer to fall and blow up. And then once the third helicopter blows up, you're safe to jump in the water. Now will trigger the death warp to where, hopefully here, where you could talk to them and start the crew battle. Real quick though, I want to show why you can't just jump straight to that second helicopter, because I think it's pretty funny. It is, they kind of just like matrix dodge you.
So I don't think this save has enough rep because of there's a different spray route.
I think it does because they respond in, right?
Or they say you didn't have enough rep.
Oh, did they? Oh, okay. What I can do is I can load a different save file. Actually, no, I can't.
Did you change save files? What happened?
I switched to Ninja's save files from mine. Because my save files only do like the start of each chapter. So that's why this whole thing is so scuffed. I apologize for that.
Yeah, things happen.
Yeah. That's the cursed practice mod, I forgot. It breaks things.
How much rep do you have?
That's a good question. I just need a 2.
You're missing 2.
Yeah, that's simple.
You can get the 2 right here.
Yeah.
The funny thing is with this spray, during the first score battle, the Devil Theory member actually sprays it over twice.
I think they patched that.
Technically, it's still there.
Oh, really?
It's right there. They sprayed over yours.
Wait, did I not just get that too? Oh my god, you're right. Okay, well, you just proved me wrong in real time. Let's grab this 4, I guess. So normally, again, you'd have enough rep after score battle 2, where after you do the helicopter fight, you could just do the death warp and talk to him right away.
And during this score battle, not really much we can do other than getting the score and setting left warp. But also, we could get
Yeah. Yeah, I might as well. It's a really hard trick we could do. That's a backup to another hard trick we do in the dream level. But I might as well show it off because it looks pretty cool. I don't even know if I'll be able to get it, honestly. I don't practice it that much. But let me get the storage. Oh, I should have done the full bounce off it. Whoops. Sorry, I'll just cheat.
We have technology.
We have the tools. So normally what you do is you need 440,000 score for this crew battle. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I've been wrong about a few in this this tutorial so far, but yeah. But you do a bounce up to ideally all the way to the top floor. Mine wasn't high enough. I didn't hit it as parallel as I should have. So what I'll do is I'll just climb the rest of the way up.
I'll show the trash jump.
I actually don't know the trash jump, funnily enough.
You do the square trick
Off of the left, this one.
Yeah.
So square trick, jump, and then what, you just do another jump?
Jump off. You'll land on it.
Oh, okay, like that.
That's trash jump.
That's the first time I've ever done that.
We did a tutorial within the tutorial.
And then you want to set your death warp just anywhere on this floor.
The trigger is the entire floor
Yeah.
for the next boss fight.
So set my death warp, I get on the rail to make sure I don't override it. And then what we're gonna do is after this crew battle ends, we're just gonna jump straight in the water. So we death warp up to the cyber fight trigger, and then we start the fight. So there's 2 phases of this fight. Both of them we have fast strats for. I'll make sure to save it so we can go over it a couple times. So again, just jump straight in the water. Okay, make sure to save. So what he does is he throws discs at you like this. Only the 4th disc, and then every disc after that will be accurate. The first 3 discs won't be straight at you, so normally you have to wait till the 4th one. I was So for this first one, you can't avoid that. You have to hit the 4th disc. You can't really shortcut that. So what I do is I will come over here, 3, 4, hit him, come over here, hit him while he's down. And then from here on out, we could shortcut that cycle by getting right in his face. And we kind of like hit the very first one to come out like that. We don't have to wait for the 4th one because we are so close to him. It doesn't matter if he misses us. I'll go over that one more time because that was really quick. But basically we kind of like jump and do a trick in midair right in front of him where he's about to throw the discs so that during our attack, the disc will come out. So again, count to 4 for the first one. And then you have to get to these spots pretty quickly before he gets there, because if you just kind of chill too close to him, he will run away from you. So you really have like a short window to go for it. If you miss that first disc that comes out, he will just run away, and then it will elongate the fight. So this time I'll just play it through. This will be the last time. So 1, 2, or that was miscounted. Okay, one more time.
Counting is hard.
It was never my strong suit. That's why I play video games.
I only know rule of 3. What is this 4 you speak of?
Yeah. 2, 3. Okay, there's 4. I even hit the 5th one back for good measure. But yeah, what you do is you stand on top of like this turret spawn, and then do it. Once he lands, you do a jump attack. That will make sure you always do it. And then here I come in between like this cop spawn and this yellow thing, and do a jump attack, and then that will hit it back to him, and then you just do one more attack after he's gotten hit by the disc to put him down. So here, out of this cutscene, we're gonna hold forward and like a little bit to the right. If you hold a little bit to the left, you'll miss him. So straight forward will work, but normally you want to do a little bit to the right. and then spam jump. And what happens is you hit him so fast, he doesn't have a chance to kind of like run away at the beginning there. So I will show that off. So hold a little bit up, and then as you see, I hit him. And then here, the way he works is he has a cooldown before you're allowed to hit him again. He has like invulnerability frames. Due to an oversight in the game's code, those invulnerability frames will count down even when the game's paused. So if you hit him, pause the game, wait his invulnerability frames out, you could resume the game and then just hit him again like that. And you have to just do that 3 times. So the kind of like method we do to kind of like time it out is we hit him the first time by doing this fast attack right here out of the cutscene. Hit him, we jump and do an air attack towards him, and then we do 2 pauses and unpauses like this, and that will kind of like wait out his timer pretty perfectly. We make sure we don't hit start both times. If you resume the pause menu with like select like A or X, depending on what controller you have, it takes slightly longer. So if you just press start twice, as you can see, it's faster than if I do start and then like A. So we do 2 start A's to make sure the timing's right. And then that is the second phase of DJ Cyber. And then after that is baseball.
So this is Dream 4.
Actually, I'm not going to go this way.
You don't know.
Let's just show the normal way. That saves like a second if you kind of do that way, but we'll just do it the normal way.
So this dream is very long. You can see there's a lot of islands floating, and
here I'll
lot
be
of,
very long
platforming.
So
it's very overwhelming doing that casually.
So we're gonna skip it. This is probably the hardest trick in the game. So if you are a beginner, you might want to put off learning this until you're like your time kind of has gone down to like I'd say around the hour mark. But the way this trick works is there's a couple different ways you could do it. I'll go over my method first, which you need to do on keyboard and mouse. Just for the camera movement we're gonna do, you can't do on a controller. Bytes has a method that's a controller method that I'll try and do. I don't practice it much, so no guarantees I'll get it. But I'll try and show it off while he explains it, and then he has a tutorial for it up on his YouTube. If I probably won't be able to get it. So basically, the way the trick works is we're gonna use this fan to like kind of hit us like a zip would kind of launch us. We're gonna use this fan to hit us, and then we're gonna get a bounce off a vent, kind of up farther in the level, and then that bounce will then carry us to the end of the level. Excuse me. Oh, well, the fan hit me. So for my setup, what I do is you could actually despawn this fan by being a certain distance away from it and then looking away from it like this. As you can see, the fan was despawned. If I move my mouse a little bit, it will respawn the fan. So I kind of use this, like instead of just like trying to time the fan and jump at the right time like that or something, I choose when to spawn it in to make my kind of setup work. And so I center myself over this beam. The more center you are, the better it tends to work. I kind of use these yellow sticks in his back, his boost pack. I use those to line up kind of the middle line. And then I inch forward like over this red stripe until the fans despawn. When that has happened, from here, I'm going to do a bunch of inputs all at once. I'm taking way too long on the setup. We'll just say that's good enough. I'm going to swipe my mouse to about these like cubes over here. It doesn't need to be super, it just needs to be like over 90 degrees. And then at the same time when I do this mouse swipe, I'm going to hold W, A, and spacebar. I'm going to press all those at the same time and then hold all those at the same time I do this mouse swipe. And that will spawn in the fan and hit me the way I want it to. Should look like that. That was kind of a weak one, but kind of good enough. Then once you do that, again, that was another kind of weak one. Okay, and this is probably the hardest trick in the run. There, I clipped this block here. There we go. Okay, that was a weak one too. I can't do it right now. I'm gonna blame my standing position. Let me get a better standing position.
I also, when using keyboard, holding down C allows you to kind of like walk instead of like the auto run that it has.
Yeah, if you hold C,
It's
you
like
could you kind of lock C
movement.
to a walk, like a walking speed, which helps with these setups. So once you get the hit like that, that was a good one. You want to curve in the air, and then you're gonna line up with this vent and get this bounce. So this is what it should look like. It took me a few tries. And then from here, this is the end of the level. So this bounce could be tricky. You have to make sure you're just lined up with it properly. You have to make sure you're coming at it at the right height. So that's why I do that extra curve around to the left. Again, that one wasn't very good. So again, it's a tricky trick.
For something that's at the end of the run, it's not really a required thing to do. You don't instantly have to learn this.
Yeah, I would not recommend learning this until you run.
Like learning it over time.
Yeah, once you're.
The results always varying.
Yeah. So one thing I will also mention is this slide pad here can mess up your bounce. So if you're coming in at a specific angle, like let's say you're coming in at like this angle, if you hit this slide pad, since it actually like sticks out from the floor a bit, its geometry could kind of send you flying in weird ways that you don't really want. So when I try and come in at this angle to get this bounce to kind of avoid the slide pad. So I will do it one more time, then I'll try Bites' setup. Again, sometimes you just don't get the height to come at it from the right angle. Then always, if you don't get the height to make it all the way to the end, you could always just kind of like come over here or even farther back and still skip most of the level. Not all of it, which is a little unfortunate, but again, if you're starting off, that's still a huge time save. Yeah.
The
So,
big
yeah.
thing about curving into that vent, my advice for that is when you turn left after the launch, when you start descending is when you would want to turn back into the vent to get the.
Yeah, if you get a
Otherwise,
launch,
the timing would be a little off.
yeah, like this. Once you start descending, then you turn it back around to the right. I've been kind of sucking at getting the right hits though, so I haven't really been able to show it off. There we go. Usually I'm better at it than that, but whatever.
This definitely takes a lot of time to get used to.
Yeah,
practicing.
you just have to practice it a lot. Both getting the hit and getting the bounce are both very tricky. So now I'll try Bites' setup. Oops. So Bites' setup doesn't involve despawning the fan. It just involves timing it. Was it this panel or the next one over?
Yeah, it's that one, yeah. So for mine is lining up the back right heel to a specific rectangle that's on like the corner piece of this beam, and looking out to the far distance where the upside down rail would be. So looking at those 4 pyramids of the background, staring at that, and the camera cutting off the cubes on the right side, the second from the top, cutting it in half. So your camera is at the corner edge, and the jump timing is the window of the back green wall of the spawn box that you start this dream at. So it would be like the very back corner. That would be like the jump timing. It's very hard to explain, but like when the fan blade kind of passes through it is when you would jump, because that would be when the next fan right behind you.
Oh, that was
Usually it gives you enough speed and height to get to the first vent that's there. Otherwise, when you jump, you would hold forward and left. So you would get speed built up against the fan blade as well. Usually when that happens, it could launch you straight to the end. There's like these baseball terms we have, which is why we called it baseball, where it's like first base, second base, third base, and then this would be home run, just getting to the ending.
Yeah.
A little silly thing that we made up for that.
Yeah, a grand slam would be making it all the way straight up here. Home run would be anywhere on this island. A triple are like these little islands over here. A double is this fan blade like climb section. A single here on this island, and then a foul ball would be this one right here. Very important you know those. If you take one thing away from this stream, it would be that. Again,
baseball terms.
Yeah. Again, I'm not doing this justice because I don't practice this method. It's not the method I use. Vice would do a much better job showing it off, but this is generally kind of the idea. But yeah, anyway, just get to the end of the level. Of course,
just go through like.
Should I just play it normally?
From the first fan. This is pretty much just like a straightaway rail where we go anyway.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So from here, you would just boost around this rail, slide under.
From here would be kind of like,
to really note is like the platforming up the fan elevator thing. Fan ladder.
Yeah, you could also do a small skip here by jumping over. Skip kind of like a billboard section.
This part is like probably the most trickiest part for most people. For the most part, you want to stay more towards the center of all these fans because that's like the closest part that you can off of. There you can just do a little skip. You don't have to actually touch the fan. Next to its pyramid.
You can do that for all these fan blades. In this like kind of section, like this one, you can just jump straight over it.
For the most part, it's very straightforward with doing this. Baseball skips quite a bit, almost like 2 minutes of content.
Yeah, it's a pretty significant time
Climb
save.
this. Yeah.
I want to mention right here, this smaller kind of green rectangle in front of me is a cutscene trigger. So if you jump off the rail like this, and then do a boost jump here, you could actually skip it. So that saves like a couple seconds. But yeah, that is Stream 4.
That's Stream 4. You might be thinking, well, now we got a whole next chapter. Gotta beat the next crew, right? Wrong. We actually have an entire skip for this next chapter. It goes straight to the final boss.
Yeah, the devs were really good for the most part when making this game to make it so you have to get the story triggers kind of in sequence. With this level being the exception, there's a trigger active that will actually kind of activate the very last. It's like after the first phase of the boss fight on your way to the second phase. That trigger is active, so all we have to do is get to it and we could skip this entire chapter basically.
This is another standing billboard. I think this is one of the first tricks that were discovered here, actually.
Yeah, I think so. This is one of the first
like week 1 skips.
Yeah, and we still use it to this day because of just how much time it saves. So we're gonna get a standing zip by just kind of lining up on it and pressing jump. We're gonna have to kind of curve in between some buildings here to make sure we don't bonk something and fall down. And then we're gonna kind of do a little zigzag curve, and then we're gonna get a bounce off a vent, kind of similarly to how we just did in Dream 4 with baseball. Get that bounce, and that's gonna take us to the trigger. Yeah, so I'll just show off what it looks like. Okay, I missed it.
Little field goal right there went between the
yeah.
events.
And then right here's the trigger. It's this kind of like smaller red square right here.
Right on the rails.
Yeah, right on the rail. Basically, you just want to aim to get on this rail. So let me try it again. It's really not that bad. You just kind of have to know how to zig. I usually turn right once that building spawns in. Like there, the building spawns in, aim for the vent. And then once I'm over here, I boost to kill my momentum, and then you fall into the trigger. Is there anything else I should really mention about it?
You kind of covered everything there.
Yeah, it is the
is the important part.
Yeah, it is the one trick that saves the most time out of any trick in the whole game. So if you would only do one trick, it would be this one. I think it saves over 20 minutes. Or no, it's not 20 minutes. It's like 10. It's 10 plus. So from there, we just come over here, and then we're gonna hit another trigger to kind of activate this cutscene, and then from here, we're about to do the final boss. I'll make sure to do a save point. So the final boss here, there's a lot to talk about. So basically, we want to knock off all his arms. He has 6 arms. You can kind of see coming up his body like this, and then 2 at the very top. He has 3 different attacks. He has this kind of like rail riding one where he kind of like sends his arms along the rails. He has another one that he has like machine guns that kind of shoot at you. And then he has another one that's kind of like a mortar attack. But we're gonna do the fight in a specific way where he'll actually not get the chance to attack at all. He will only attack if you touch one of these rails here, like the yellow rails that kind of like surround the arena. Oh, and also these wire rails on the middle. I should mention those. Not his arm rails. Like each of his arms kind of have these green rails. Those rails will not activate an attack if you are on them. So yeah. Am I here, Bites? How would you could probably explain it better than I would?
Yeah, you can probably start doing the boss fight one by one.
Okay.
So as you said, if we touched any of the rails, they will start an attack. And every time we break an arm, we have a sort of grace period that'll allow us to actually ride the rails freely. And so once you do this spray, there is that grace period. I think it's about 6 to 7 seconds, if I'm correct.
I think it's 6 seconds. Exactly.
6 seconds on each spray. But if you do sprays too quickly in between, that grace period is not stacked or reset. I think it just explodes them immediately, giving you less time to get on the rails around them. So we hit a specific pattern for these arms in particular, because we want the top most arm to be the last one to be exploded. So with that, you would get something that we call like an instant hit. And after you get this spray, you would get this instant hit, and that would be time.
Yeah.
Once you get the last hit, that would be the end of the run.
It's yeah, so basically the general idea is we just want to stay off the rails. It's really just like a scripted pattern we follow to make sure we're getting to each of the arms when we want to get to them, and just make sure we reach them all. You are timed. The 2 most important timers are like from the first to the second arm. If you are too slow, he will do an attack, and then the whole fight is like thrown off. Another important timer is this one. If you're too slow, his third arm here won't fall off right away. We want his third arm to fall off right away so we can land on this rail to kind of like clip through his body. There is a backup for if you don't do it fast enough, which I'll go over like next run. And then here we actually want to delay hitting this last one to make sure his arm doesn't fall off right away, because we want to be able to ride it for a bit and jump off of it to reach this rail. So we can come up here and then do the fast hit for the final hit. And to do the fast hit, we just, after doing the spray, you just spam jump and like hold into him. So that way you do a double jump off his arm straight into him. after you're done with the spray. So I'll show the backup for that third arm if you're not fast enough getting to it, so it doesn't fall off right away. Then other than that, I think I'm trying to think if I've missed anything.
Pretty much all of it.
How you hit these arms, like what position you're in, will kind of dictate what your position will be coming out of them. So I try and make sure to hit the arms kind of like in the same way each time. The second arm's the trickiest. It'll give you a lot of different variations coming off of it. You just kind of have to improv there. So here I'll purposely kind of delay the timer, so now the arm won't fall off right away. When this happens, you could jump down to the left, and then get onto the rail like this. Then you could jump up to his arm, assuming, okay, it kind of flung me off there. So here I would have already failed the fight, and then from here on, I would have to improv. He'll probably do an attack here, yep. And if he's doing an attack, you're losing probably about 20 seconds minimum.
This is the one that takes the most time.
Yeah, for the machine gun attack, you actually just have to wait it out. He will like keep rotating to keep tracking you. So you can't like jump and try and do any arms as he's doing the attack, because he will just kind of like dodge you. After each attack, he will do one of these venting things where you have a chance to go hit some arms. But like if this ever happens, you're basically just trying to play the fight casually as fast as possible. The script has already been broken, and you're just you're improving. But yeah, that is Bomber Cyberfunk any %.
Awesome. Super appreciate y'all coming on to teach of the game. You both did a very excellent job explaining it and everything. And this game looks cool as heck.
Yeah, this game is really cool. I'm a big fan.
Amazing game.
Go ahead.
Community. That was all I was going to say. We got a good community going. A lot of good resources for practice.
Earlier you mentioned this was at AGDQ. That is, I think, Thursday night, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be Thursday night, I believe, at 11 EST.
Yes. It is currently 11:04 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all tune in for that. And seriously, again, thank you both for being on, for showcasing this, and bringing your joy and passion of the game to hopefully get other people into running the game.
Yeah, of course. I also, if anyone ever has any questions, our Discord is super friendly. We're very responsive for anyone who wants help, either setting up practice mods or doing certain tricks or whatever it is. We're happy to help.
Yeah. Do either of you have anything you want to say before we close out?
Not really. I'll just to repeat again, I'll be running this game at AGDQ. So make sure to check it out.
We'll also be streaming runs on our own respective Twitch accounts. Storied, Twitch TV/storied with 3Ds. Right?
Yeah, it's 2 extra Ds at the end to make it 3 total. I'm sorry for making you shout me out. I should have done it.
You gotta plug.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I also stream on Twitch. It's Bytes, both Z's. We stream BRC and quite a bit of other games. But check out the Discords on our speedrun.com page and get lots of help from there. That's about it.
Yeah, definitely be sure to check these two out. Some very great speedrunners, well versed. So definitely give them a follow. Check them out, and again, thank you all for watching, and thank you both of you for teaching the game. This has been awesome. With all that said, that is all we have for you tonight. We will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with Arcade Pit, followed by Speedruns from the Crypt. Hope to see you there.